inspection station. Plus, find a huge selection of quality pre-owned cars at QualityCarCareStatesville.com or call 704-871-2535.
Hello all, and welcome to the L Show, where the L stands for leaning in, and that means that we will not shy away from any topic at all, no matter how taboo or uncomfortable it may be. Things like menopause, sex and libido, mental health and depression, difficulties with weight loss, and all other topics that are important to us maturing women in the prime of our lives. Thank you for tuning in and either watching or listening to the show. Today is the perfect day to actually call in because we are discussing CBD and THC with an expert. We want you to call 1-844-STUDIO-4. We will definitely take on-air questions until about 3:35, but we will still answer any questions that you have after that time. We'll just get your name and info, and we'll call you to answer the questions, and we're also going to share the answer with the audience on our next show. So this is going to be a very, very, very fun show because not only are we discussing the great topic of CBD and THC, today is Trivia Day. And I am inviting you to call into the show today to play some mental health trivia in our last segment for a chance to win a stress relief kit from Rose Pharmacy and Boutique Apothecary, which includes a bottle of your choice of CBD or THC, along with an apothecary jar of a stress-relieving support tea and tea strainer. And this is what that tea looks like. Isn't that beautiful? It makes me less stressed when I see this, right? And this is what the loose leaf looks like in the inside. And then, like I said, also, you will get a bottle of your choice of either CBD or THC. And so, again, that is coming from Rose Pharmacy. The lines will be open at 3:40. And at that time, we're going to take the first 3 callers that want to play the trivia. Again, that number is 1-844-STUDIO-4 or 844-788-3464. And call in, let us know that you want to play some trivia, and we will have you on the air. Again, I am your host, Dr. Nicole Eastman, and I'm the owner of Rose Pharmacy and Boutique Apothecary here in Cornelius. We are a compounding pharmacy with a focus on functional medicine. And what that means is my team and I, we make medications that are specifically formulated for you. We also provide holistic alternatives like supplements, vitamins, and much more, some of what you will hear today. You can find out more about us by checking us out on our website, roserxboutique.com, or on Instagram and Facebook at Rose Pharmacy and Boutique Apothecary. To all of our listeners, the information presented in our show is not a substitute for any advice given by your healthcare provider. I am so excited to introduce my guest today. Her name is Ellen Tacher. She is the owner of Prime Sunshine, a hemp wellness company here in Charlotte. She is a subject matter expert on all things CBD and THC. So who better to have on the show? Again, today is going to be an awesome show. So please, if you guys have any questions at all, definitely call in. So tell us more about you, where you're from, how you got into this, the fact that you are a pioneer. I mean, the first female dispensary owner in the country. Is that correct?
Well, at that time, I will preface by saying we did not know.
Okay.
All I did was have an amazing life transformation using the oils in the olden days, and came out of a very deep depression and multiple levels of anxiety that has plagued me for most of my life.
Wow. So then after going through and healing yourself, what then kind of led you down the path of, okay, you know what? I'm going to just do it. I'm going to open up, and I'm just going to push this out.
It's a really good question. And thank you for asking that.
You're welcome.
I just went by how I felt. And then I started helping other women on social media and the different areas that I was plugged in, and they were experiencing similar and sharing it with their friends. So it wasn't like I woke up one day and said, I'm going to start a company. I really started helping myself and understanding what I needed, and then helping other women.
So did you find that it was hard It was hard to begin. It was hard to start, like, because we all know, when you are saying, "Hey, I'm gonna do this. I'm
As
gonna,"
far as starting a business?
yeah, like,
I
and
didn't know
especially this.
it wasn't legal.
Yeah, okay.
And I
Yep.
had no clue what it was. And
Mm.
people were saying, "Oh, do you know that it's related to this, that, and that?" No, I never did. So I just started working with folks that had diabetes, rheumatoid arthritis pain, high cholesterol, high blood pressure, and it just naturally evolved from there.
Hmm. Well, I can tell you all that I have her products in my store, wonderful products, and they do benefit so many. So thank you for what you do. In the month of September, we have been focusing on mental health, mental well-being, stressors that lead to mental health opportunities. We talked about mental resilience, navigating through the system for people who are seeking help for mental health crisis. And we also had some very interesting and exciting therapies at OptiHealth, like neurofeedback and red light therapy, just amazing. But today, we're going to help take this to another level. So many of our listeners do seek alternatives to the mainstream and want something that feels much more natural. And we're going to be discussing CBD and THC as a supportive option in conditions like stress and anxiety and some of the other concurrent issues that we know. When somebody has stress and anxiety, oftentimes they suffer with pain, they suffer with the inability to sleep. So again, that is what we are going to talk about today. So all the time, I always share some fun facts with the audience because I just think, and of course, this is all an effort to, we do our trivia, and I want people to take our little fun facts, and then at the end of the month, we'll do some trivia. So anyway, so here are some fun facts for the audience. Your body has a system within it that's just as important as the sympathetic nervous system. That's your fight or flight, known as the ECS. That stands for endocannabinoid system, which is critical to every aspect of our moment-to-moment functioning. And I think that it's important for people to understand that this system exists already. This is not something that we made up.
May I ask you a question?
Sure.
From your experience as a pharmacist, does it affect the sexuality system of the body?
Yeah. So it affects
The ability to have an erection and
Yes, absolutely. So this system is like the regulator. It's like the regulator for everything. Now, of course, we have been there's been a lot of research. There's been all kinds of stuff about the system, but it hasn't come to light, and consumers aren't aware that it exists. Although they're walking around and they don't. We take for granted. We take for granted like what's going on. But again, it is absolutely necessary for everything that we do, and we'll get into that too as we get a little further into the show. But something really quickly about your product. The strain used in Prime Sunshine Full Spectrum Oil dates back to the 16th century. On that note, we are going to take a break, and when we get back, we will keep on this path to CBD and THC. You ready for that, Ellen? You ready?
Yes.
All right, girl.
Great job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Breaking news, expert analysis, and the stories that matter most, all in one place.
I totally acknowledge seeing flames is a scary situation.
WSIC News Talk Now.
Here's your WSIC community calendar. This Friday, the Steel Wheels are performing at Kane Center for the Arts in Cornelius. Come listen to the storytelling abilities of the Steel Wheels through Americana and folk music. Doors open at 7 and the show starts at 8. The Steel Wheels, this Friday, canearts.org. That's CAIN arts.org. Start your engines, racing fans. The Bank of America Roval 400 is back to Charlotte. Sunday, October 8th, starting at 2 p.m., the Bank of America Roval 400 at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Get your tickets before it's too late. Visit charlottemotorspeedway.com. No time to get to the apple picking at Kerrigan Farms? Apple picking ends September 30th. But you have your chance to go pumpkin picking. Starting September 30th, you can experience the pumpkin patch at Kerrigan Farms. Book your experience now at kerriganfarms.com. The All-American Dog Show is this Sunday in Cornelius, 2 until 5 p.m. Bring your furry friends with you. Come find out who has the fluffiest coat and see the cutest puppy in all of Cornelius. And be sure to come by the WSIC tent at the All-American Dog Show happening at Robbins Park in Cornelius this Sunday. For more info, visit cornelius.org. Have an event you would like to tell people about? Yard sales, estate sales, and everything in between? Visit WSICnews.com and click on events to submit your event today.
The Renaissance Festival is back! Saturdays and Sundays, September 30th through November 19th. Jousting, knights, mermaids, fairies, dragons, oh my! Tickets available online only at renfestinfo.com while supplies last.
And now for a look at your weather forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. Mostly cloudy skies out there this morning, but it will gradually become sunny by the afternoon. The high temperature today is expected to be near 80. Heading through the evening hours, mostly clear skies, and it'll cool off as we get into the overnight hours. Your low temperature tonight, 59. This is your weather forecast from the WSIC Weather Center.
Thought-provoking conversations and informed perspectives.
It's meant for everyday people to understand, and you don't have to stress about technical terms and stuff. They just say it like a real person.
WSIC News Talk Now.
Welcome back to the Elle Show. I am Dr. Nicole Eastman, and I'm here with my co-host, Ellen Tacher, owner of Prime Sunshine, a hemp wellness company here in Charlotte, who is a subject matter expert on everything CBD and THC. I want to remind our listeners to call in anytime during the show today, 844-STUDIO-4 or 844-788-3464. You have questions, but also those who want to play the trivia, we want you to call in at 3:40, where we are allowing the first three to play some mental health trivia. So here we are, Ellen. So it's often confusing for lots of folks, the difference between CBD and THC. Could you tell our listeners what the difference is, or is there really a difference?
Sure. And first of all, I just want to congratulate you on such an amazing store that you created.
Thank you. Thank you.
From probably nothing to just a beautiful Saks Fifth Avenue level shopping experience for women is really amazing. And
thank you for
I think that
saying
your community here is very lucky to have you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. So tell us what's the difference, Ellen. You don't have to flatter me anymore, girl. You can just give it to us straight.
So
the difference, so CBD, people are always confused. What's the difference between CBD and THC? Is there really
I just spent a month in Italy, and I did not understand how amazing the tomatoes were. Everywhere I went, one was better than the other. So I realized they were all tomatoes, but some of those tomatoes were grown in more fertile soil from Mount Vesuvius that tasted like fruit, and it was amazing. And the other ones were not. So CBD is very similar. Maybe not for consumers, but they wouldn't know. Buying a tomato versus a tomato from two different markets, you wouldn't know if you were buying CBD or buying flour that was from hemp, because there's so many different things that happen between those two places.
Got you. So essentially what you're saying is that, you have these two different plants, right? These two different plants, and they produce CBD and THC. And it's just you figure out which one you're trying to isolate. Is that kind of what
Well, is it okay to talk about the different fruits that we make spirits from?
Sure, yeah, that's fine.
Okay. So grapes, we make wine.
Mhm.
Corn, we make whiskey.
Okay.
Wheat, we make beer.
Yeah.
Grapes, we make wine. Other types of cactuses, we make tequila. So we make lots of different medicines
From the same
from
kind
this
of,
plant, but
gotcha.
the hemp plant is non-psychoactive, so that is differentiates. It's non-fermented as well.
Gotcha. So the CBD, not psycho for sorry, for our listeners, CBD is not psychoactive and THC is psychoactive.
Correct. And that would be the difference between both plants.
Gotcha. So, so for our listeners, when we're kind of going forward, we're going to use the word cannabis as like an umbrella term for both CBD and THC. And I will tell you, I often get this question in my store. So I had a huge, beautiful flag outside my building. This was before I knew that the town of Cornelius did not allow feather flags. But it was so pretty. It was just beautiful, a beautiful flag with all my brand. And the flag said CBD and THC sold here. So this was the time that I got the most organic traffic in my store. And they came in saying, wait a minute, did I just read that sign correctly? You sell THC here? I would say yes. And I would have to explain how I'm able to do so. So I want you to explain to the audience why I'm able to sell your product in my store.
So you have two different plants. You have a cannabis plant and a cannabis plant.
Okay.
We have two different plants. One of those cannabis plants is higher in THC. The other one is higher in CBD. That's the only difference. So it's kind of like if you wanted Italian tomato, a plum tomato for your marinara sauce, or you want a beefsteak tomato for your BLT. It's still from the same family. They are rich in different vitamins, just like a sweet potato versus a regular potato.
Okay, so and just for our listeners too, CBD and THC, they are cannabinoids, and there are many different cannabinoids. The two that we are talking about are THC and CBD.
I think it's worth maybe noting when we use the term cannabinoids, it may be unfamiliar to consumers. We can also use the word vitamins. So like if you had a sweet potato, it had vitamin K, vitamin A, vitamin C. The hemp and the cannabis plant in general has all the same.
Has all the same.
Correct.
All the same. Got it. And then
so the cannabinoids would just be the vitamins. It's just another word for vitamins within that plant.
Got it. So what about in terms of full spectrum versus broad spectrum? That's another question that people come in and like, what's the difference? So,
well, a lot of people like truckers, airline employees, medical employees, they are tested for THC. So there's that always lingering possibility of testing positive, even if you're taking a full spectrum CBD tincture. So the way that the tests are now, if you're going for employment, is if you pee, it's either yes or no.
It's not qualitative. It is quantitative.
So if you have any listeners now that are in any of the service fields, they can always opt in for a blood test, because what they're looking for is anything over 0.3%, and CBD, which is why you can have all the different wonderful products that you offer, is because they are below that legal limit.
Gotcha. So then it's the full spectrum product that you could possibly test positive for if you're doing a urine test.
Correct.
Right?
Because it's yes or no.
Because it's yes or no. The blood tests are the ones that are more, okay, it's either
it won't even pick it up.
You're above this or I got it. And then the broad spectrum basically has 0. So I always, tell people if they're subject to, the test, then, go with the broad spectrum product just in case. But that's some interesting information that I never
However, if somebody opts to have their blood taken, it wouldn't matter because it's only looking for something that's 3% or more.
Gotcha.
We learned that a long time ago.
So I mentioned earlier the endocannabinoid system, but not many people realize that our bodies produce molecules that they're called endocannabinoids. So they are structurally similar to the molecules of the cannabis plant. And where do these molecules work in the body?
So it's very interesting. It's a great question. When we were born, our mothers gave us an endocannabinoid system, which is the largest medically identified system in the human body.
Wow.
And we've gone on to make what strengthens it illegal while legalizing drugs like Enbrel that killed my brother when he was 52 in about 6 months from acute onset lymphoma. So he would have really been a perfect candidate for anything medical. But it's also important to note, Nicole, that we now, with the technology that we have over the last 10 years, we can take the same vitamins, or if you will, cannabinoids, from either plant, and there is no scientist that could ever tell the difference. It just is still illegal to make the medicine from the more psychoactive plant.
Gotcha. So, and not to really get too scientific for people too, but I do want our listeners to understand that these molecules, these cannabinoids that our bodies make already, they work on certain receptors in our body. And those receptors are called, just for you guys to know, CB1 receptor, CB2 receptors. And in order to hugely oversimplify this whole thing about receptors, think about a receptor as a lock and the molecule for that receptor as, say, the key. And so wherever you have that lock is where your body can use that key. And so that lock is the receptor, the key is the molecule. And with CB1 and CB2 receptors, they're in different parts of our bodies, right? So where's CB1 receptors mainly located?
So CB1 is in the brain. Okay. CB2 is in the sternum.
Gotcha.
CB2 is over our immune systems. CB1 is over our systems in our brain.
And I was actually reading something just the other day, and that is the reason that CB2 receptors are the targets of drug development, because, when we think about, what can we use that doesn't cause horrible side effects, right? And so they're looking through and seeing how this can be applied. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing.
What makes sense, and perhaps we can discuss after the break, Nicole.
Yes, absolutely. But
how over-medicating with other drugs, how we can help that using cannabinoids.
Well, when we get back, what we're going to first talk about, though, I want to talk about the different delivery methods, because we have a little show on our table, and we'll show it for you guys. Just the different sorts of products and the different methods by which we can get this delivered to us that I think you all will find very, very, very interesting. We will do that when we come back from our break. All right, guys.
Conversations that matter.
I gotta tell you, I'm afraid to even think about the next presidential election.
Led by you.
It's a mockery of American politics.
This is WSIC News Talk Now.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go. Shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit notimetowait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
And now for a look at your weather forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. Mostly cloudy skies out there this morning, but it will gradually become sunny by the afternoon. The high temperature today is expected to be near 80. Heading through the evening hours, mostly clear skies, and it'll cool off as we get into the overnight hours. Your low temperature tonight, 59. This is your weather forecast from the WSIC Weather Center.
Welcome to the Continental.
From the world of John Wick comes a Peacock original 3-part event that takes us back to 1970s New York. The Continental.
This institution wields power beyond your imagination. Let's take this house and everything that comes with it.
The Continental from the world of John Wick. Streaming now.
And away we go.
Only on Peacock.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Prioritizing your health is one of the best ways to take care of yourself. From routine visits to the joys of pregnancy to the illnesses that stop you in your tracks, Iredell Health System will be by your side. Learn more at iredellhealth.org.
Check out these great propane-powered deals from G&B Energy in Statesville, and you can get cozy with the new fireplace and save up to $350 in rebates on Cozy Heat fireplaces or receive a free on-off remote when purchasing gas log sets over $700. Best of all, Renai tankless water heaters start at $430 after rebates. Visit G&B Energy today off Highway 70 at 120 Entercraft Drive in Statesville or go to gbeenergy.com.
Hi, this is Susan. I'm excited to let you know that Lake Mountain Coffee is now available for private events. Our beautiful historic building with its 360-degree mezzanine has hosted many private parties, catered diners, and even an actual wedding. Please contact Andy at 704-252-1886 for more information. Thank you so much.
Be a part of the conversation.
We can't fix America's debt by starving its people.
Have your say.
One shooting after another, and we're doing nothing to solve it?
This is WSIC. News Talk Now.
Welcome back to the Elle Show, everyone. I am Dr. Nicole Eastman, and I am here with my co-host, Ellen Tacher, owner of Prime Sunshine, a hemp and wellness company here in Charlotte, who is the subject matter expert on all things CBD and THC. I also want to remind callers that pretty soon, about 6 minutes from now, we're allowing the first 3 people who call in and say they want to play some trivia. Those people will get a chance to win an awesome prize valued at greater than $130. You call 844-STUDIO-4 or 844-788-3464. So when we left, we were talking about the different delivery methods. So let's go ahead and get into that. You have some here. So I want you to, when you talk about it, I want you to show the people who are listening, people who can hear us, who can see us, sorry, I want you to show it to them on the screen.
So there's several different ways to deliver all the cannabinoids, or one or two of the cannabinoids. One is just topically. So there's a roll-on, not just Prime Sunshine, but there are many different products that Nicole has in her pharmacy. You probably would it would be beneficial for you to speak to her first. But we have warming and cooling, right? So that's on the outside of the body. So we're looking at reducing inflammation where the affected site is versus taking something internally.
Makes sense.
When we have pain patients, we like to teach them how to use both. So if somebody's getting ready to work out for strength training and they tend to get sore after, I know for myself, I use it twice before I go to bed because I do the cream.
Okay.
Because I have awful pain in my feet at night. I don't know if it's neuropathy. It hasn't been diagnosed yet, but it's cramps.
Okay.
If I put that on twice, take a hot bath and put it on twice, and they're gone.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So there's
Gotcha.
probably for people who have a vitamin deficiency.
Okay.
I know when I've been on my feet all day long, also there'll be, tightness in the legs as well. So that topical is very helpful. So that's one way to deliver. Another, which is my favorite, is the oil.
I was going to ask you which one was your favorite in a little bit, but you answered.
My oil
Okay.
is my favorite.
Gotcha.
Okay.
And why?
It is the least selling item that we have.
It is.
Everybody wants a gummy.
Yep.
Okay. So we all need good oils. We need good oils to reduce our cholesterol, to lower our blood pressure, to allow our brain to function. That's why you hear a lot about fish oil. And, if you're not taking your fish oil, you're not taking krill oil, or you're not taking any type of oil, this is 1 milligram a day of organic MCT oil or hemp oil, depending on what product that your patient decides to choose. So we have seen, without any clinical trials, people's cholesterol go down and their A1C.
Wow. Like with using the oil.
Just the oil.
Gotcha. So what about, so we talked about, you like to use possibly two different delivery options for you want something.
So I like the oil because the cannabinoid is infused with the lipid at a molecular level using no heat.
That's fat. So when she says lipid, she's talking about fat.
And that is because our plant doesn't grow any sticks, stalks, leaves, and branches, just the actual bud itself. So we don't have to break down all that fiber that you see in these big plants that grow on these farms. It's a genetically, it's been serviced for over 200 years. The farm has owned that seed for about 350 years. It's grown. There's some plants grown up on the International Space Station. And our original full spectrum oils were all grown. Those plants were grown on the University of Kentucky Medical School. So that's the most fertile soil, actually, there in Kentucky, in the United States, and from no clone.
So that's interesting,
which
because
you'll see in commercial today.
I'll say this. So for moms who come into my store, and one thing about your product, I'll say this: I love the fact that it's organic. I love the fact that it's low sugar, and when moms come in and they're looking for something, and I as a mom, I use this product for my children. It's, of course, the one that has zero THC in it, but I like the fact that it is very little sugar. It's all organic, and that's important. So I think that's one thing that absolutely sets Prime Sunshine apart. It's just what it's made of, and I love the fact that you are very intentional with regard to how your seeds are treated, right? So what they're exposed to, and that's where the quality of the oils that you produce and whatnot are. So, but let's talk about your gummies. So, do you like to do? Do you have people that ever want to do cream and gummy, or gummy and oil, or would you ever tell me like what your?
So, as a pharmacist and as a cannabinoid prescriber, if you will,
Well, I don't prescribe. I don't have a DEA number, but I know what you mean. Yes.
Right.
Yep.
Protocols. I guess we can replace that with the word protocols.
Yeah. Okay.
What we teach people to do, which it's very difficult to do in a pharmacy or a very quick retail setting, is how to break apart the different cannabinoids and put them together to actually solve a problem. And just CBD is just only one of hundreds of cannabinoids. THC is only one THC out of many THCs. So as consumers continue to go on this journey, including myself, learning, not every THC is psychoactive. Some of them help you lose weight. Some of them support your memory. Some of them support your eyesight. And as we move forward with our new technology that allows us to manufacture these plants so they don't taste terrible, because they were terrible tasting when we first started that many years ago, we're able to break them apart and put them together. And then we teach pharmacists and doctors how to recommend which products to put together to solve a problem.
So let's go back to, you mentioned the different cannabinoids, and you mentioned the different, there, other than THC, other than CBD. So there is one product in particular, HHC. So that's a product that you carry. So what typically do you find with, your clients? Who is that client that goes to HHC rather than THC, or you know what I mean?
So as we begin to learn about our endocannabinoid system, we know that different cannabinoids affect each person differently. So it can be rather noteworthy to understand that not any one endocannabinoid system is the same as somebody else's. However, HHC is known, and this is not something we knew 10 years ago, but it does seem to calm down the digestive tract. So we have a lot of Crohn's patients, ulcerative colitis, that will take this before a weather front. It is known, HHC is known to be a little bit more euphoric than Delta 9 or Delta 8. However, the best way to figure out what your dose is to start with a quarter, then go to a half, then go to 3/4, then a whole.
And that's the whole concept of microdosing.
If you're looking to treat something, if you want a euphoric state from it, then just take a gummy. But that's just not, what we teach. We really do teach how to use this plant as a medicine.
Plant as medicine, absolutely. What about the different strains? Because that's another common topic. So you have sativa, you have indica, you have hybrid. So with those three, could you just give the audience a little idea of what those three are for in general?
So what they're supposed to be for doesn't necessarily mean what you're getting. All right.
Okay.
A hybrid, well, I have a generalized anxiety disorder and I suffer from depression.
Okay.
So a hybrid would be something a hybrid that leans more towards a sativa, which is less of a downer for me.
Okay.
Than something that's higher in THC. Now, that doesn't mean that that's the same for you or your neighbor or someone else. It's a very personal medicine, and it's really up to the individual to learn how it works in their body.
Gosh, this is just such, I wish we had so much more time. Again, we're going to keep on talking about this, and then we're going to do our trivia when we get back. We'll see you guys soon. Such a great.
Whatever the story,
We have to end our dependence on China.
have your say.
This debt crisis is going to set our economy back big time.
This is WSIC News Talk Now.
Here's your WSIC community calendar. This Friday, the Steel Wheels are performing at Kane Center for the Arts in Cornelius. Come listen to the storytelling abilities of the Steel Wheels through Americana and folk music. Doors open at 7 and the show starts at 8. The Steel Wheels, this Friday, canearts.org. That's CAIN arts.org. Start your engines, racing fans. The Bank of America Roval 400 is back to Charlotte, Sunday, October 8th, starting at 2 p.m. The Bank of America Roval 400 at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Get your tickets before it's too late. Visit charlottemotorspeedway.com. No time to get to the apple picking at Kerrigan Farms? Apple picking ends September 30th. But you have your chance to go pumpkin picking. Starting September 30th, you can experience the pumpkin patch at Kerrigan Farms. Book your experience now at kerriganfarms.com. The All-American Dog Show is this Sunday in Cornelius, 2 until 5 p.m. Bring your furry friends with you. Come find out who has the fluffiest coat and see the cutest puppy in all of Cornelius. And be sure to come by the WSIC tent at the All-American Dog Show happening at Robbins Park in Cornelius this Sunday. For more info, visit cornelius.org. Have an event you would like to tell people about? Yard sales, estate sales, and everything in between? Visit WSICnews.com and click on events to submit your event today.
The Renaissance Festival is back! Saturdays and Sundays, September 30th through November 19th. A non-stop outdoor family adventure. Huzzah! Tickets available online only at renfestinfo.com while supplies last.
And now for a look at your weather forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. Mostly cloudy skies out there this morning, but it will gradually become sunny by the afternoon. The high temperature today is expected to be near 80. Heading through the evening hours, mostly clear skies, and it'll cool off as we get into the overnight hours. Your low temperature tonight, 59. This is your weather forecast from the WSIC Weather Center.
Stop dreaming about the perfect lawn and make it a reality. Drum Landscape Supply now offers personalized lawn plans. Visit drumlandscapesupply.com and collaborate with our experts. Drum Landscape Supply, your local one-stop landscape shop.
The WSIC Community Yard Sale heard the feedback, and now regular yard sale space is free.
Wow, that's a good message.
Or you can reserve a premium vendor spot for just 50 buckaroos. Premium spots include an on-air mention during a special edition of Home Ad Live. So join us October 28th at the WSIC Community Yard Sale. Free spots provided by Black Automotive Group. Oh, and one more thing. Do you have a lawnmower we could borrow?
It's The Elle Show with Dr. Nicole Eastman, owner of Rose Pharmacy and Boutique on the new 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
Welcome back to the Elle Show. I'm here. I'm here with my co-host, Ellen Tacher. She is the owner of Prime Sunshine, a hemp wellness company in Charlotte, North Carolina. As we were ending our last segment, I wanted to make sure that I mentioned something. You know, we're going to do this again. We're going to have this conversation again because there's so much information that we want to share with you all. We just didn't have a chance to get to it. But we will do this again. And also, remember, you can always come to the store and we can explore this more. But sleep application is amazing. I have clients who love this for sleep. And so, again, we will do this soon. But right now, what we have is a little bit of trivia going on. So I know we have a couple people that are standing by on the line. So here are the rules for the game. Okay. All right. So we have Lisa. I'm going to ask you 2 multiple choice questions. Lisa, can you hear me?
I sure can.
Perfect.
Dr. Eastman.
Perfect. I'm going to ask you 2 multiple choice questions and then an open-ended question where you'll have to fill in the blank. And so if you've been listening to the show, which I hope you have, you could get all of these questions correct. Now, if you haven't been, there's still a small chance that you could get the multiple choice questions correct, but the open-ended question could be a little more difficult. And in order to win, you must answer more questions correctly than your competitor. If there is a tie, I will have a tiebreaker question that's multiple choice, but that may be a little more difficult. You understand the rules of the game?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay. All right. So let's go with the first question. What is the name of the receptor in our bodies that is important for cannabinoid effects? Is it A, CB1? Is it 2, CB2? Is it 3, Obi-Wan Kenobi? Is it D, little pun, Kenobi, cannabis? Is it
I got
both
it.
A and B, or none of the above?
Can you repeat D, please?
Okay, D is both A and B.
Oh, okay. That's I say it's D.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, so which of the following is one of the innovative approaches to mental health offered by Opti Health, our last guest on the show? Is it A, QEEG? Is it B, cryotherapy? Is it C, hyperbaric chamber? Or is it D, all of the above?
I think. Hold on. I'm gonna go out on a limb. I'm pretty sure it's D again.
Okay, all right, D. Okay. And question number 3. September. You're going to have to fill in the blank for this one. September is National what month?
Oh, suicide prevention.
Good job. Okay. And that is the third question. Now I'm going to go to my next caller and hold on for just a minute, because if she gets all of these correct, there will be a tiebreaker question. So I'm going to put you on hold, okay?
Alrighty, thank you.
Thanks. Okay, Lauren, are you there?
I am. I love your show.
Thank you. Aw. So I am going to, these are the rules. So I'm going to ask you 2 multiple choice questions and then an open-ended question where you have to fill in the blank. And if you've been listening to the show, which I think that you have, you could get all these questions correct. If you haven't been, there's a small chance that you could get the multiple choice questions correct, but the open-ended question could be a little more difficult. Now, in order for you to win, you must get more questions correct than your competitor. If there is a tie, I will give a tiebreaker question, and that is multiple choice, but it's going to be a little more difficult. You understand the rules of the game?
I do. Thank you very much.
Okay, so question 1. What is the name of a receptor in our bodies that is important for cannabinoid effects? CB1, which is A. CB2, which is B. Obi-Wan Kenobi, which is C. Or D, which is both A and B. Or E, none of the above.
I'm going to say it is CB1 and CB2. So
Okay.
That's A and B.
Okay. Gotcha. Got it. Okay. Second question. Which of the following is one of the innovative approaches to mental health offered by Opti Health, our guest that was on the show last week? Is it A, QEEG? Is it B, cryotherapy? Is it C, hyperbaric chamber? Or is it D, all of the above?
Oh, I loved last week's show, and I remember I've listened to it a couple times, so it's all of the above.
Okay. All right. Perfect. Okay. So here is the fill in the blank. September is National what month?
It is National Suicide Prevention Month.
Whoa, we have ourselves a tie. Okay, so now we're going to do our tiebreaker question. So I'm going to put you on hold for just a minute. I'm going to go back to my first listener. Okay, just 1 second for me. All right. Are you back?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. All right. So the other caller got all the questions correct as well. So now here is our tiebreaker question. All right.
Wow, I love it. Okay.
Which one was not a yoga pose that we mentioned on the show as best for anxiety and overall mental health? Which one was not a yoga pose that we mentioned on the show as best for anxiety and overall mental health? Was it A, happy baby? Was it B, Berkram's triangle? Was it C, sun salutation? Or was it D, downward dog? Which one was not?
Dr. Eastman. Oh my goodness. I've done yoga before. I listened to the show. I think it's Happy Baby 8.
Okay. All right. Happy baby. Okay. All right. Let me put you on hold for just a second. Be right back.
All right.
Lauren, are you there?
I am here.
Okay. All right. So we are down to this last question. So let's see. Which one was not a yoga pose that we mentioned on the show as best for anxiety and overall mental health? Which one was not a yoga pose that we mentioned on the show as best for anxiety and overall mental health? Was it Happy Baby, A? Was it Berkram's Triangle, B? Was it Sun Salutation, C? Or was it Downward Dog, D?
I've done yoga, and I know all those poses, but I am going to make a guess here. I think it's B, but I honestly don't know.
So you were so close. It was actually A. It was Happy Baby. Oh my goodness. Well, but you were close, and I appreciate you for listening to our
Happy
show.
Baby.
I love Happy Baby as well. So yes, thank you so much for playing. It looks like we have our winner. Thank you again for playing, and hopefully you will continue to watch us and play again in the future. Let's get back to our winner.
Absolutely.
Lisa, you there?
Good game. Yes.
All right, you are our winner. So we will collect your information. And yes, I love that music. Collect your information, and we will call you after the show.
All right.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Dr. Eastman, I love your show.
Thank you, honey. All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye. That was fun. That was very, very, very fun. Again, every month we're going to do this. That's our plan. Every month, our last show of the month, we're going to do some trivia. So in closing, thank you to everyone who tuned in this week's segment for the Elle Show. Thank you to Ellen Tacher, who has been amazing. And again, we're going to have her back on the show again so we can talk more about this. Ellen, where can people get more information about you and your product?
Well, honestly, since you are an expert in the field, I would recommend them contact you and come into your store.
Thank you.
All
thank
right.
You, yes.
And so all the entire product line is available at Rose Apothecary and Pharmacy.
For those of you who missed any part of this show or any of our previous shows, you can find them on WSICnews.com, or you can watch by following them on Facebook. We are also on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And this is our 12th episode, and we love to hear your thoughts and your feedback, any topics, any ideas, or any questions that you have. We want you to call 1-844-STUDIO-4 or 1-844-788-3464. And as always, please come to see me at Rose Pharmacy. They're at 20035 Jatan Road. I'm directly behind McAllister's Deli. We would love to sit down and talk about especially these exciting CBD and THC options. Ladies, make sure that you are blocking off that 3 to 4 time slot every Friday for the Elle Show, because I want this to be our happy hour where we are wrapping up our busy week together on a very uplifting note. I look forward to seeing all of you again next week. Have a very fun and safe weekend. Thank you, Ellen, for being on the show, girl.
Thank you so much for having me.
Wonderful. We will do this again.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Yes, thank you very much.
North Charlotte.